what exactly question है sir?
Sir, for this information, generally used we usually look upon existing states available for a particular research data. We are looking in a case of nominal, ordinal, or internal state questionnaire. Suppose we are going to frame our own questionnaire, then we need to validate it. So for this, generally we use to refer existing states. It doesn't take when it's open questionnaire, and
Correct. So super. So these questionnaires we would be taking, especially when we are writing survey papers or maybe case study papers. So this is one categorized thing. When let me give you an example. Say when I'm trying to write a recent paper where I'm working on is how AI can help in reducing mental stress in men. Sorry, no women. Men are more mentally stressed. That's what I feel. So this was a huge argument in my research group that Shiva, you cannot write your own personal problem as a research paper.
Gender bias crisis.
No, anyways, ma'am. So for this particular topic, we formulated a questionnaire where we categorized as each question we try to based on the age, based on the certain parameters that married, unmarried, or maybe divorced, or something like that. So all these demographical data we have to collect based on this particular questionnaire. So this particular kind of research if you are doing, so these questionnaires will be more, helpful. And interviews, where do we use it? Can we have a direct sentence in your research paper? I hope people understand what is direct tense and indirect tense. Generally, when we write, say for example, when we write a literature survey, we put as Siva et.al. discussed. So that is indirect tense. So for this interviews, we need to use direct tense. Let's say, for example, Uma Maheshwari code in quotes. Whatever. So when do we use such interviews for writing research paper? Can we use interviews for writing research paper?
What problem they are facing? Such a question can be asked.
Correct.
People related with that paper. That we can add a collecting data. If there is any problem that we can identify from the interviews.
Yeah, correct. And one more thing, when we are working with such topic, let me go with the same example, mental depression in men. So now I need to consult certain psychologists, right? So these psychologists I would be having a direct interview with the psychologist or psychiatrist, where they will be giving me what are the vitals for which, how do we measure a depression? How do you know that they are depressed? Maybe their hands are shivering. So that's what my team said. So we need to have all these kinds of things where we are going with writing such papers. And then what about rating and attitude scales? This is especially when we are going with management studies. Research related to management studies or people who are researching in literature and arts. We are going with rating and attitude skills. Sir. Sir. Can I include an Okay. It's fine. Sir. Yeah. So rating and attitude. So this is pertaining to most of the people who are working research in maybe humanities or maybe arts and science or maybe English literature. And then lot of tests when we are going with say maybe statistical analysis, stochastic test or maybe some probability test. So we conduct all these things. So all these are data gathering. And for our computer science, we have different data set available, especially when we go with GitHub or maybe we have CAHCET. So most of the data sets are available in that GitHub or CAHCET. And these two things can be integrated with your Google Colab. So Colab is another tool where we are trying to go with maybe a small implementation where I need to have an AI integration. Yeah. So I do not know how many people have heard about this latex. Yeah. So this particular thing, the reason why I have taken this particular thing is most of the times the rejection rate is due to the first level, that is the enter level rejection is more. Reason being, paper is not as per the format. Right? So what you need to do is, whatever journal you are selecting, you try to download the format from that particular journal website itself. And you will be having something called latex online, that is overview. Need not download the latex, but you have latex online, which is overview. So I'll be showing you that. So I'm just as certain papers which have already been written in latex, I'll just go through one particular sample which might be in IEEE format, which is we are targeting IEEE transaction. So let me go with that. Yeah guys, so IEEE transaction, IEEE access, all these follow the same format. So this particular format which I am showing you, it's available online for in your IEEE website. So you just download that particular overlay format for IEEE. You will be getting this file. So what you need to do, wherever is the session, you just need to update it. Title, they will just be giving a title. So you just put your title there. How do we do that? There are two panels in this particular group. I think that is the reason why I already, if you could have your laptop, that would be amazing. But anyways, probably you can take screenshots Is it possible? If you have your phone, I don't mind. You can just take the screenshot of this particular thing. I mean, that's like So there are two panels in this latex. So one is where you are writing your code. So please don't be scared that you need to write a lot of code. It's already available. You just need to modify wherever it is required. So I have a code for title. So it's something like your HTML/title. It's already there. You just need to update your title in that session. So just put the title here. Once you go with recompile here, it gets reflected in this page. It gets updated here. So whatever changes you are doing, it gets updated here. So you do not have the maybe inclination towards, the format is not good, or maybe when you are trying to put a diagram that is not fitting into the thing. Overleaf does everything. You need not bother about anything. You just need to write the content in appropriate sessions. So it already does the session based on your journal format. Probably, if possible, we will have a dedicated session on this overleaf itself. Can we do that? Sometime later. But as of now, just explore what is overleaf. Yeah. So coming to the most important part, where we are trying to go ahead. How do we choose the journal? Let's have a discussion on this. How do you choose a journal? Let's say you have formulated an idea. You have a discussion with your team, you have formulated a team. Now, how do we choose the journal? Huh? Paper scope, yeah. You have to check the scope, of course. Sorry, ma'am? Yeah, of course, impact factor. So, now, there is one problem with impact factor. The journal web page shows one impact factor. Please don't believe that. The impact factor, how do you measure? Where do I measure? Where do I get the exact detail that, okay, this is SCI index or this is annexure index? How do I do that? Not Scopus, ma'am. That's what we are not talking about. Okay, Web of Science. Anything else? Huh? Okay. One easy way is, I'll just show you right now. Schemats. This is the best website where you can actually search. Maybe just type the journal name there, and then it will tell you what is the exact impact factor, how was the citation for the published paper, how will the impact factor be changing or will it be reduced? So you can check based on this. Please do not believe the impact factor which is written in the journal website. Whenever you are choosing a journal, please type the journal name here. Then you will be getting the recent impact factor of that journal. Because sometimes certain journals might be, they say in that web page that it is SCI index, but then recently they might be out of the SCI database. So then that might be a problem for you. Journal impact factor we talked about, and then reviewer submission guidelines. We just talked about formatting. So what is the format? Please check. And then citation styles. What do we mean by citation styles? Generally, when we go with this latex, what we do is, I just show you a sample. So I'm just clicking on this site, double quotes, that site. So you will be getting different formats, but I do not know what is the journal format, right? So best way of doing it is go with the big text. Can I go back and do it? At the end you have your big text. So if you are clicking on that big text, you will be getting a code, the big text format. So just copy this and then once you go to your overview, I'm just giving you an example. So in your overview, you will be already having something called ref.bib, a file called ref.bib, ref.bib. That's already present. So just click on that, and then in this particular panel, this particular panel. So you can see all these things are bib text only. Right? So you paste the bib text here and then go back. So go back to your text where you need to do it. Maybe I'll type it in notepad so that you see that now. So read those here. Let's say this is my content. So here I need to type because I have taken that with text. So what I need to type here is slash cover back and then go with after this article you will be having one name. So just copy that and then put that after this, then close it and then start it. Automatically it will get selected. The number will automatically appear. It will take based on whatever is your reference styling. So you need not bother about the reference styling, you need not bother about the numbering. It will automatically take it. And of course for each journal we have a paper limit. I'm forgetting this. Yeah, for each journal we have a paper limit, that is size. So it is not like, okay, I'm a great researcher, I can write, 100 pages of paper. No. Some journals only accept maybe 15 pages. If it is IPP transaction, that guy is very strict. Only 12 pages. That too 2-column run. So we have to very strictly follow. Yeah, so I think we were talking about this. Structure your paper, all the sessions, and then reference we spoke about. And then when you are writing the text, you have to be free of jargons. Now, what do we mean by jargons? Can we have any example? Any English faculty?
Jargon are a technical word related to a particular field.
Correct.
For example, if you take medicine, we call it carcinoma instead of cancer. Cancer's other word is carcinoma. This becomes the jargon of the
Super, sir. Super. Yeah. So, please avoid such things. Let's not prove our English. See, the main reason why your paper should be having more citation, that means more readability, is many people outside India, they are not native English speakers. Say, for example, if I am traveling to Germany, they don't speak English. There, if I have to go, I have to learn level 1 of German. So, please make sure that the written paper is as simple as possible. Maybe you should not say that. Say, I'm trying to write a particular sentence. Uma Maheshwari ma'am is hardworking. Please do not write the same thing as Uma Maheshwari ma'am is industrious. Let's not showcase how good we are in English. Please use very simple words and make sure that you do not have any kind of complex sentences. Now, what do we mean by complex sentences? Sentence. High level of vocabulary, that is there, but then
Special category words.
so that you can clear the editorial level. That is the first level. Yeah, one more thing which is very important is provide detailed descriptions of your research method. So you might have proposed one research method. So follow that particular research method. Say for example, you are proposing your own research method. Please have a name for that research method. Don't say our proposed work. No. Many people do this particular mistake. Our proposed work is having much better accuracy than so and so service. Please put a name. That's more professional. Yeah, this is the most important thing where we have a lot of challenges right now. So, original and free from plagiarism. What do we mean by this original? Can my research be 100% original?
Because we are using existing lectures and existing works also we are doing. So it is impossible to make a 100% original.
So if my research is, if somebody is claiming that his research, his or her research is 100% original, then he is the next Thomas Alva Edison. Because Thomas Alva Edison never referred anything. 100% original. That's the reason why he is a Nobel laureate. So no one is a Nobel laureate. Let me be more frank. You'll be more frank. We are doing PhD for what now? Let's be very frank. Exactly, sir. Super. Maybe for my promotion, economical benefit. Not that, oh, I want to prove something in research.
Affordable lifestyle.
Maybe that is there, but very, very little. Especially for me, sir. Very little. But then since I have that research inclination, that's a different thing. We need to make sure that we have the proper citation. What categorizes under plagiarism? What exactly is plagiarism? Let's talk about that. Maybe people can argue about what I have written, because in my perspective, that is what I feel it is plagiarism. Maybe you might object.
Please accept it.
Sir, many people, they are doing what? I'll tell you one simple trick which few of my students, they gave me one thing. I'll just show you right now. How to avoid plagiarism without any effort. Please do not do that. I'm just showing how people can do that. I'm taking one paper as example. This is just for an example. I'm just taking that. I'm just copying it. Maybe let's say here. Now I cannot copy paste the same in my paper. So what is the smart way of doing it? One thing is I need to paraphrase, understand and write it. I don't have time. Because my HOD says, okay, you need to have research papers, count 1 for your next promotion. What do I do? Now please do not do this. We will be caught. I'm saying what should not be done. But then people, what they are doing, I'm just showing you. Pasting the text which I have copied from the paper, right? Just keep on paraphrasing. Probably you can take a photo and check what is the difference. Yeah. Now what you can do, if you want to be more smart, copy the re-paraphrased text. This is the re-paragraph text. I also copied the text which he actually copied. The first paragraph is the original text. Second paragraph is the paraphrase text. Now, to be more smarter, you can again re-paragraph in your own rules. That can also be done. But then, now what is the challenge? Where will we be caught? You had different plagiarism AI tools which checks whether this is generated from a bot. Because what I used was a bot, AI bot. So you have different plagiarism checkers which exactly tell you that okay, this complete text is generated because this complete text is generated from a bot. So the reviewer or the editor will immediately issue a legal warning to you. Put your paper under retraction. Straight. So what happens if you get retracted? Worst punishment, you are losing your job. Black mark. So, I'm just telling you what are the things we should not do. Alright. So now, once we write the papers, we have written our paper with our own, paraphrasing and all these things. Now still, because we have different literature surveys, all those things. So how do we check for self-plagiarism before we send it to the university for a plagiarism check? I hope every college will be having a plagiarism check. So before we do that, we can go with all these are open source. Either you will go with the Grammarly or plagiarism checker, do Tweaker checker. So all these are open source. You can check what is the plagiarism. Based on that, try to again reduce. Yeah. So some of the things which we do not know but which we comment. This we need to know when we are writing the papers. Sometimes without our knowledge, we have the plagiarism done. We do it. So always people say that ignorance is a crime. If you don't know, no one will accept it. You have a police case against you. You go to the police station and you say that, oh, can I tell you, sir? They will not agree. So, direct plagiarism, that's what we did. This is the most used plagiarism which we are doing. Oh, I am trying to cite my own work. How is it plagiarism? I have one of my work which was published in 2020. I am writing a paper in 2025. I am trying to cite my own work. That's also plagiarism. Because you cannot do it directly. You have to also rewrite your own work. So that's a very tough thing. Even when you are writing a thesis chapter, if you have a paper which you have published, you cannot write it in your thesis directly. The entire paper cannot be written in the thesis. You have to again rewrite it. And there is one more smart way of people doing plagiarism. Okay, if I am copying the text from a single paper, only then it is plagiarism, right? Why can't I copy words from multiple papers? Will it be plagiarism? Of course. Again, ma'am, without proper citation. Citation is the key thing. See, certain technicalities we cannot avoid. If I am talking about, say, services of cloud, or maybe something related to the recent work which I am working environment, so I cannot avoid that. So obviously these things are allowed within your 12%. So make sure that you have the criteria of your plagiarism at the end before you submit to the journal as less than 12%. So there were different, because this was a huge case study which was conducted in our university by the MBA school. What are the different plagiarism? Because when we were doing an audit, especially when we were in the IQAC committee, when we were doing a research audit, what are the things which are coming under plagiarism? How do we do an academic audit? Even I feel, say for example, if I am teaching the subject cloud computing, I have prepared one slide. Now I am sharing that with maybe Uma Maheshwari ma'am. Uma Maheshwari ma'am is teaching from the slave side. Is this plagiarism? Because Uma Maheshwari ma'am is teaching that. But that's my slide.
We give a permission, because work is to teach, then it is not a plagiarism. Now you have permission, whether
Ma'am, are we doing that, ma'am?
we should give a permission.
Are we doing that, ma'am? Because most of the people do not know about this. Say for example, people who are teaching software engineering or whatever subject, most of the PPT they try to download from the internet and they put as title followed by their own name. That PPT is not prepared by you. Please do not do that. It's a serious offense.
Of course, sir. It will reduce our confidential level also. When we are going to engage with someone PPT, sir. Of course, content is also not clear. When we are going to deliver, of course, we will ask our information also.
Correct, ma'am. So people do not know that they do it. It's available publicly over the internet. You can use it as a reference. But please do not use the same slides when you are teaching. That's also plagiarism. So that is the reason why we have put it as academic analysis. All these we check during your academic audit. Yeah, we talked about this, how do we avoid so proper citation. And we have plagiarism checkers, which we talked about. Yeah, what is this word retraction? Because for the past 1 year, we are hearing this word frequently. Any idea? Have you heard this word somewhere? Because for the past 1 year, UGC is very strict about this.
Published paper can be punished.
Huh?
When you publish paper, if you identify later, this is a false one, they can.
Yeah, exactly, sir. Maybe I have a published paper which is published in LC work, but then later one of the scientists is citing my paper, but then he finds some fault. What he reports to that editor, obviously it will be retracted. Now, how? Why? That's the question. What could be the reasons for retraction? How do we avoid it? What is retraction? I have no idea what is the level of the people here, but I am believing that people have written one or more research papers.
Reduce the journal's reputations.
Huh?
Reduce the damage to the journal's reputation.
Correct, sir. The plagiarism, the retraction, there are two types of retraction. One is the author level, another is editor level. So maybe, say for example, how do I say? Say for example, I am an associate editor for a journal. Let's not take the names of the journal. So now, what I do is, legally what I should do is, I should formulate a separate committee where I have the list of reviewers, and then based on the reviewers, I need to allocate. And then, if any paper comes to me wherein that particular author is known to me, I should not do that. I should not assign that paper to the reviewer, but I should send a mail to my editor stating that this particular paper, the author is a known person to me, so I cannot allocate the reviewers. So now, if I do that, that is, the author is known to me, but then I am allocating the reviewers, that's one point in retraction. That means you have not used ethical base of reviewing the paper, because every journal or SCI journal, the reviewer process is what? The review processes. Most of the journals, the review processes. It's not transparent. No one knows who the reviewer is. So it should be like that. So if you know who the reviewer is, then probably you can have some kind of a favor. Right? Because many a times this is happening. The reviewer might be calling you, hey dude, you know what? Your paper is, I'm the reviewer. Google pay me $5,000. I will make sure that I write good comments. But though the paper is very bad. So this is one point of retraction. Yeah, fraudulent data fabrication, manipulation of data. One simple example which I want to take here, since we don't have any kind of top people here. Let's be more open. During quality audit, are we exactly presenting original data? Ma'am, let's be very clear. Though I am from DIT, many a time we have manipulated the data for audit purpose. Maybe alumni data. Sometimes alumni, what is their thought process? We do not have their details. but we write our own things, right? That's also fraudulent. So fabrication, manipulation of data. So even in our paper, if you are trying to manipulate, you have one kind of result from one paper, and that result you are trying to take the graph. I'm exactly talking about what practically happened with one of the paper. Let's not take the names, but then one paper, what happened is the graph was exact the same, but then the graph was edited in Photoshop and then slightly changed. So is this fabricated? Of course. I haven't worked on that result, but then my graph has changed. So what I do? Okay, based on the comparative analysis, my accuracy is much better. Our proposed work gives more accurate results than the existing systems. How? Photoshop data. Right. So now, since we know what are the things we should not do, how do we make sure that our paper is getting through the editorial process? So people might be saying that, okay, if your paper has novel hypothesis with mathematical equations, definite publication. You guys agree for this? You have a novel hypothesis with certain mathematical equations. What is the chance that that paper can be published?
It's too high.
Huh?
It's too high.
Means, huh? It will be published.
No, sir. Normal hypothesis is tentative solution or assumption or supposition. So then, how can we apply the paper?
No, sir. My question is, if we have a novel NOVE, novel hypothesis with certain mathematical equation, is there a chance? There is a bias that with a novel hypothesis and some mathematical equation, the paper might be published. So what is your thought process on this? That's my question. Let me give you an example. Say I have a hypothesis that I'm trying to design a mitigation system for water quality index for trying to monitor hexavalent chromium around Ranipet district. This is my hypothesis. Now for this, I designed a new framework with a mathematical model for monitoring water quality index, which might be some lot of equations related to maybe double integration, Laplace transform, all these things. I simply included just to make sure that the paper can be published. Is it acceptable?
It exactly contents, verifiably contents, that is very
Sir?
Makes sense, sir.
Let me be more clear. There is a misconception that with lot of mathematical equations, paper might get accepted. No, because those mathematical equations which you have written should have a proper justification and an explanation. So that is the reason why most of the journals have a section called appendix, where you need to justify why you have used that mathematical equation. If it is your own equation, then justify how you have derived that equation. You need not write in the running text, but you have to write it in the appendix. And we were talking about this English grammar. Let's agree that maybe you might be thinking that okay, Shiva is great in English, his communication is very good, but then we are not native English speakers. So obviously we do not have a proper grammar while we are writing it. So whenever we are writing a paper, make sure that it is proofread by some expert who has a very good English knowledge. Maybe what I do is, generally when my team writes a paper, either I or I have one of my friends in English department, she would proofread it. But then of course, please give the acknowledgement. In the paper, when you are writing it, do not give the authorship, but then under the acknowledgement section, you can put her name. That's possible. So, because most of the time when the reviewer checks, he also goes with this English grammar. Yeah, I was talking about the picture. Let me just give you a small example about this picture. So, when you are drawing a particular, this is the paper which I am working, still under work. So, this paper I drew yesterday, no, and today at 4 a.m. I am still working on it. But anyways, so we need to check what is the clarity. So, now, what we need to do is, if I am writing, is it getting blurred? Is any of the text getting blurred? Check. If it is not getting blurred, then the paper, the image is of good quality. Now I have zoomed it 200%. Can you see any text which is blurred? I have certain text blurred. Is it blurred? So this is how you check. Because this I have drawn in Canva. Canva or PC, sorry. We can draw this in Canva or PC. Please make sure that your image is not blurred if you are zooming in, or the text inside the image is not blurred. So that kind of quality is being expected when you are putting any kind of image in a research paper. Yeah. So, as I said, for proofreading, I'm taking the help of people who are working in the English department, and of course, tools such as overlay for Grammarly. Grammarly actually gives you the exact correction. When you are proofreading it, check in Grammarly, it gives you what is the proper sentence formation, and then it will exactly tell you which is the correct format. Super. So, first part of discussion is done. So, any queries till now? What do you feel? Did we miss anything? Please make sure that I can address on that. If we have missed anything, because probably after this, after our lunch, we would be going with exactly how to write the paper. So we would be formulating the need, and then we would be going with probably, if we can have one laptop per team, that would be great. So we can exactly write how do we write the paper. Please select your own topic, formulate a team. So all those steps we are going to do.
There is any Chinese AI or tool that can be used for automations.
Sorry.
Chinese.
Good afternoon, sir.
Chinese.
It was a very nice presentation, Mustafa. Thank you, sir. Hello?
Yeah.
I have some general queries like what is H index and what is H index? How it works? I just wanted to know.
After lunch, that was my topic.
There is any Chinese tool.
Sir, you were talking.
There is any Chinese tool for reviewing our paper. There is any
Chinese tool.
AI, Chinese AI or grammar spell check or anything.
I have no idea, sir.
No idea.
No, because these are the standard tools. That is, Grammarly is a standard tool, or we have turned it in as a standard tool. So Chinese tool, sorry, I am against it. Even my mobile is not Chinese.
Any best thing from Chinese?
Huh?
Any best thing is from Chinese? No.
I have no idea.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, after the session, expecting any of the journal kindly logging into and open, as you say, showing some format.
Correct, sir. Yeah, we are going to do that because we will be, working together. And then, say for example, you are formulating an idea, you are selecting a journal. We will be working parallelly. How do we open the journal? How do we download the format of the journal? How do we include that in overlays?
Thank you, sir. People will know who standard is.
Yeah.
And writing article writing, they can know how to publish,
Yeah.
how to report.
Probably in this particular group itself, we will start writing the paper. Maybe by the next 6 months, you will have a paper in morning. Let's do that.
Sir, which
Once you get incentive or a promotion, please do not forget to send me a sweet box. We have this Grammarly. Grammarly is there.
I am proud to have that, sir.
I'll share this PPT.
I am proud to have this this is open source. For instance, suppose we are going to use this tool and in case of it shows 100% accuracy, it is an online.
Correct, ma'am. Yeah, super. Very good query. So, if you are using any kind of an open source plagiarism tool, there is a definite chance that your paper might be in their database. So now, if you are again going for a Turnitin report from your college, that might have an increase in plagiarism. So what you need to do is If you are logging into the Grammarly, please delete your recent work. You have a portal, Grammarly portal. Once you log into your Grammarly portal, you have a portal, you say clear cache. So then you go with the official plagiarism check.
Even if you have less plagiarism, like less than 12%, which is some of the papers we can reject due to quality and novelty, less novelty like that. So what exactly we need to do to correct all this?
Ma'am, regarding novelty, only thing is research methodology should be very clear. Contributions, significance of the work, these all should be very clear. Result analysis should be very clear. This is what is novelty they are expecting. So, when you are writing that particular table, no, I told one table, literature service. So, we have certain, maybe I am referring maybe 50 papers for my work. So, out of that 50 papers, I select 8 top papers where I am saying that, okay, these papers are highly related to my work and these are the research gaps in that particular paper. So now you need to find out in the result analysis, you need to compare how your work is better than those 8 works. That's the novelty.
So what is your first plagiarism report, sir?
Huh?
Putting a first what is your plagiarism report, sir?
Mine, sir. I'll tell you about my thesis, sir. My thesis for plagiarism, it got 38%.
Suddenly, some of the journal papers are removed from the Scopus. What is the reason behind this?
Retraction.
Only for the retraction.
Retraction. So most of the papers might be removed from the Scopus database or SCI database because of some retraction due to editorial issues. I mean, some fault with the editors.
So why some journals classify as a related journal, though it does increase the standards?
MDPI. MDPI is categorized as predatory journal. The reason being, most of the editors are doing favoritism that they have their own team of reviewers. Say for example, if I am the editor for MDPI, now I know that okay, here the Shiki man goes, he will be, I am sending one of my scholars paper to you. I know you, I will call you, ma'am, number paper with the path of
But no, such kind of journals, you got more than citation that related activity. So if you want, I just want to represent the name of the journals.
Yeah, ma'am, I know. So that's what. Correct, ma'am. These are the reasons. So at one point, there are 2 reasons behind this. One is because of the academic pressure. Maybe your HOD says that, okay, Priyadashini, for this particular year, I need 2 journals from you. So you want to publish it by book or you say you contact, okay, Shiva sir, okay, jana tariqa journal utha. Maybe, ma'am. But then some certain, better to avoid any special issues. Most of the special issues are little bit, dangerous.
How can we identify the journals are predatory? Some of the journals are predatory journals. How can we identify? It's Sivarama and Scopus.
Ma'am, it is listed, ma'am. In the SGI scheme act, it is listed as predatory. That's what I said. Whenever you are selecting a journal, please refer the scheme act. So you get the complete data of how that journal is performing and everything. I will show you UGC scale. I think I shared this slide. It's there. Under UGC scale, you have a list. I think I shared that slide also. Sir, this link. Same sir, UGC here. You just go, you will be having the annexure 1, annexure 2. The list. Yeah. So, one of the professor had a query that what is the tool exactly used for what purpose? From my experience. So, for writing papers, I use overlays. For checking the English correction, myself, and then grammar, and then my English faculty. And for plagiarism check, duplicate, open source, or alternative. Because based on your experience, you will be knowing what would be the plagiarism. Because generally in our team, we have a bet. When we send this particular thing to alternative, we will be having a bet. I would say that, okay, this paper will have 10% plagiarism. One of my friends will say 12%. Whoever wins will, whoever loses will be giving the lunch break. So by experience, you will be knowing what will be the plagiarism. But tools for plagiarism turning in the yes, that is the reason why I told you. Even if you have done this before, what we have done, even that will be got in learning. And even certain things, what we will do to avoid plagiarism is, I'll show you one more thing, how do we avoid plagiarism? Because these things are done by most of the VIT students, they are very smart. Because our digital assignments also goes through plagiarism check. So what they do is, if they use AI tool, it's got in internet. So what they do is while they type, say for example, I am typing. And this particular course, they hide it. Or this particular dollar symbol, in between the words, they hide it. So it will detect as, the document will detect as 0% plagiarism. So even a renowned scientist will not have 0% plagiarism.
That can be referred as post-writing.
Huh?
Post-writing. That can be referred as post-writing activity.
So all these are there. And one more important thing before we go on for lunch, there is some word which we are talking when we are talking about retraction is ghost authorship. What is ghost authorship? Can anyone tell me? Ghost, G-H-O-S-T, ghost authorship. guesses? What is ghost authorship?
He or she never do anything.
Huh?
He or she never do anything related to that idea.
Yeah, correct, ma'am. Exactly. Ghost authorship means we do not know, I mean, the original authors do not know his or her detail, and they have not done anything, and they are there just because of their profile. Say for example, huh? Correct, ma'am. Maybe say for certain journals, if I have certain people name, that journal might accept because he is a top 2 scientist or whatever. Anyways, so let's have the discussion after the lunch. Have you taken for lunch?
Thank you, sir. I kindly request the participants to take the lunch break and be back by 1:30 p.m.